This is Kenny. And when she's not posing for thumbnails, she's scrolling through TikTok, where she discovered this trend and decided to copy it for a YouTube video.
Thanks, I'll take it from here. I'm going to keep this brief because it is based on a TikTok trend. So therefore, I feel like it would make no sense for me to elaborate and make it longer. Although that is what YouTube has become. Picking up on TikTok trends and turning it into a video essay. Another reason is that the sun is setting. I have got a light on, because that means people can see me inside. So in order to save myself some embarrassment, both online and in this video, we're just going to keep it brief. She says after giving a minute explanation. Anyway, first things first, romanticy is a new phenomenon. I'm so sorry. I have been in bookish spaces long enough to have known the terminology fantasy romance. And fantasy romance is the immediate predecessor to romanticy. It literally means the same thing, fantasy and romance merged together. Now, I won't say that they are exactly the same in, like, if you were to pick up a fantasy romance book, you are going to pick up a romanticy, but it is its parent. Romanticy is the birth child of fantasy romance, and so for people to act like romanticy is this new subgenre that has appeared out of nowhere is fictitious and false, and I will not believe it. Buying a color e-ink Kindle, it doesn't matter how many videos I see of people unboxing their Kindles, decorating it, getting new cases, getting all their new accessories, I will not be buying a color e-ink Kindle. It makes no sense for me or my lifestyle, and it makes no sense for Congo, for human rights abuses to be going on in my name, right, for me to get this device when I have old technology that I can repurpose that does a very, very similar job. Will it be the same? No. But if we want justice in this world, we've got to accept certain sacrifices. Now, I'm not saying this is no holier than thou. Do not get me wrong, because as I said, I've got so many spare devices. Why do I have so many spare devices? You can shoot me. I'm no better than the next person. But this piece of propaganda is not passing go here. If you want to find out more information as to how to make your old device as Kindleified as possible, check out my old video. If you want an updated version, just let me know. The next one is a bit controversial, and the one that I will debate the most about. We can have conversations back and forth, and I think there is a reason for you to disagree with me with this one, but I think the reason why I'm holding this position for now is because of the rhetoric and the way people talk about fanfic that has been heated. Basically, next one is retellings aren't fanfiction. The reason that I'll allow a distinction between retellings and fanfiction is because of the medium and the format, okay? But at the same time, do we not have retellings in multiple different formats? So is a fanfiction not a subgenre or a subset, actually, that's a better word, is fanfiction not just a subsection of a retelling? But because what is clueless if not a Sense and Sensibility? Is it Sense and Sensibility? Fact check me. Retelling. It's a retelling. You would call that a retelling, right? But it's not a written retelling, but it's not in a novel format, right? But you allow there to be some flexibility under that terminology of retelling. When it comes to fan fiction, some litfic people want to act holier than thou just because fan fiction isn't as polished of a medium, and I don't stand for it. Live and let live. Live and let live. And I just think it's partly to do with the litfic snobbiness. And one thing that I will not abide is elitism. When it comes to reading, like, ew. This one is a direct call out. Reading diverse books by marginalized authors only in their awareness months. You would think February and October are the only time to read black books. Maybe I'll give you Juneteenth. But apart from that, we don't want to hear it. I think this is because May is a NPI month. The N may or may not be part of it. But apart from that, you won't see people reading it. They're not reading books. So, what's up with that? Because you know what? There are 365 days in the year for you to pick up that book. However, don't get me wrong, do not get it twisted. I love an awareness month. And the reason why I love an awareness month is just because it allows more focus. It gives a more focused prompt and a more focused time. It does not equal exclusivity. Okay? That's the difference that I need some people to clock, right? yes, focus your time, focus your reading. This is a great opportunity, especially because it also allows another moment of reading in community. If a large group of people are also reading from that same marginalized group, it does foster relationships, right? So I do love that. However, you don't have to exclusively read ace books during ace week. Do you know what I mean? Like, come on, guys, this is 2025. I know I'm not the only person who has said this. This is not a new take, but it's approved by me. No/low spice books are clean. Yeah, talk about 2025. It's time to get rid of this. This is such a, to me, dated terminology.
Lord, you're just so tired.
For romance, but at the same time, even though I'm calling it dated, there's been a lot of backsliding when it comes to how romance is viewed, even amongst readers. There's this narrative like romance readers are corn addicts, okay? And the thing is, I think the problem comes when you generalize. Obviously in life there was usually outliers, okay? If you look at the bell curve, of normal distribution, there will always be outliers. However, the bulk of romance readers are in fact not corn addicts. Sorry to get mathsy in a literary space, but I am a maths girl secretly. Well, I've always been both, can't lie. I'm just that talented. I'm joking. Please clock that this is a jokey video. Yeah, I think there's been some backsliding because stop me before I rant for too long. But I say there's been some backsliding because, like, yeah, I've just seen, especially on TikTok and stuff, the way that romance has been demonized in certain quarters. I'm watching it with my side eye, with my eyes squinted.
One eye open when I'm sleeping. One eye.
I'm like, do you know what? People think they're a lot more progressive than they actually are. Do you know what I mean? However, let's get back to it. Calling romances that don't have any spice clean. I've done it. Don't get me wrong, I've done it. But I do feel like it's 2025, so it's time for us to update our verbiage, update our terminology, come up with a new term if we need to as a community, because yeah, there's a moral statement attached to that I don't enjoy. Basically that's asserting that books that have spicy scenes in them. We can also update that terminology, spicy, smutty. I don't actually love it. So if you want to float some new terms for sex scenes in books, if you don't want to say sex scenes, in fact, let's just keep it clinical. Let's just call it sex scenes. Although, to be honest with you, I am always that person. Even as a child, is a vagina is a penis. Let's just keep it real. Anyway, I'm liable to rant. Let's move on. I might have won some of you over, and you guys might distance from me when I say this. Physical books are a better reading experience than ebooks. It's propaganda, and I won't fall into it. I don't believe you. I mean, I do believe you. I believe that you believe that for yourself. But what I don't believe is that this is a universal experience, that it is universally acknowledged. I'm trying to reference Pride and Prejudice, but I don't have it locked and loaded like I know some of you guys do. The first sentence is a truth universally acknowledged. There you go. It's not a truth. It's subjective, okay? So it might be the case for you, but for me, I'm squinting at them pages. People talk about the smell of books. I mean, the smell is fine, but also if I light a candle when I'm reading an ebook, I'm smelling good smells, so I'm not falling for that trick, okay? I exist. My experiences are valid too. I'm going to end on a bang. For anybody who watches this channel is like, oh, here she goes again. She's obsessed. You right. Hunger Games isn't a modern classic. Pourquoi? Explain it to me. Come on, I'm listening. Explain it to me. Why is Hunger Games not a modern classic? Not enough time has passed. That I'll give you. 50 years time, if I don't see Hunger Games written down as a modern classic, I will riot. I predict a riot. Yeah, I will riot. Absolutely. Absolutely I will. Absolutely I will. Hunger Games is a classic. Listen, I read an article, right, talking about what makes a classic, and Hunger Games hit all of them. Now I could do another video talking just on that topic, talking about books that I think are going to be modern classics. But just to let you know, Hunger Games meets the criteria, and Hunger Games will be on it. Yeah, and I'll go down. Put it on my head. Put it on my tombstone. Right? I believe it. However, I will say that this does depend on Suzanne Collins. Suzanne, I'm nervous. I'm nervous. Don't ruin a good thing, okay? Because I'm pretty sure people would have said that about HP, and then JKR. Ugh!
Calm down. Take a breath.
Ugh! Just had to keep talking. But the thing is like, it's actually good that JKR kept. No, it's not. But the thing is, since JKR can't shut it, Shanice, people have gone back and analysed Harry Potter and was like, it's actually not that great. So do you know what? It's a good thing it's chucked that into the bin. But unless Suzanne opens her mouth or keeps writing books, and the books turn out bad, but bad in a way that influences the original trilogy. Because if it's just bad, I'll just say that one doesn't count. That one doesn't count. We're talking about the original trilogy here. But I still kind of only am referring to the original trilogy. Ballad and Sunrise, they're not really in the modern classics genre, really. They're just tacked on because there are other books by this author. But really and truthfully, we're talking the main trilogy. So unless Suzanne yabba yabba like a rat, she's making it with Homer and Shakespeare. Yup. Margaret Atwood and Suzanne Collins, mark my words. Anyway, that's it. That's all my propaganda. There's more propaganda. Let me know if you want a part 2, because I can think. I was just thinking for like 10 minutes and I came up with this list, right? If you want another video, I can think for another 20. I can think for another 20, that's for sure. So let me know. Okay?